Hello, welcome to the Donaldson Run Walkabout. I'm Larry Finch. I have lived in Donaldson Run since 1966, so I've gotten fairly well acquainted with it. In fact, my home is just beyond the school ground behind us here at Taylor School. This is a neighborhood that's all residential except for this school. It was built up in the 1940s and 50s mostly, and most of those homes are still here, and you will be seeing a lot of them as we make our tour. The neighborhood is very pet-friendly, and it's characterized by a lot of tall trees. You'll be seeing some of those. And the heart of the neighborhood is our network of stream valley parks, and the streams are very lovely, and they're forested, and we'll be showing you the parks as well. Our first stop is right here at Taylor School, and we'll go over now and meet the principal, Robert Hindman. Rob, could you tell us a little bit about this school?
Sure, it's a pleasure. Taylor is a school here in North Arlington. We're celebrating 50-plus years of being a part of this community. We've been proud to be a part of the community for all of those years. We currently have just under 600 students in our school, and they come from the immediate area and some of the surrounding neighborhoods through a transfer process as well.
Something you have that's unique is your geothermal heating and cooling system. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, the geothermal is a system that's used throughout the world to heat and cool buildings. Here at Taylor, we're one of the only buildings in the state of Virginia that's heated by geothermal heating and cooling. And the idea is geo means heat, or geo means earth, and thermal means heat. And so we're taking the heat from the ground, from the center of the earth, and we're bringing it into the building to heat and cool the building. We have a series of wells, just shy of 100 wells, that continuously pump water from the ground into the building, back out again, providing the heating and cooling for our building.
Great. And I wanted to mention while we're here that Taylor School was chosen as the site of Arlington's Arbor Day ceremony for 2006. And I wonder if you might show us the two trees that were featured in that program.
Sure. We have two trees that are on the playground area immediately across the fields here. One is a willow oak, which is a notable tree in Arlington and has been designated with an award to prove that. This tree to the left replaces a willow oak. It's a scarlet oak, and it was planted at Arbor Day, and we're hoping that it will grow again and become a landmark tree here in the North Arlington community.
Great. I'd like to stop here for just a moment. We're turning off Military Road onto Marcy Road, heading for Marcy Park, and also Potomac Overlook Regional Park. And in the background, you see the Church of the Covenant and homes. This is where the Marcys had their farm from the 1840s on, and which resulted in the Marcy Road and Marcy Park. And the Marcys were actually here during the Civil War, and Civil War soldiers stayed with them. And one interesting anecdote from neighborhood history is that one of the Civil War soldiers buried a lot of money, he said, somewhere on the Marcy farm, and people looked for it for a long time. Probably really wasn't that much money. But this was called Marcytown for a long time because there were a lot of Marcys. They had houses all over the neighborhood. And now let's go on to Marcy Park. We're here at Marcy Park now, and this is the second stop on our Donaldson Run Walkabout. And we're joined by David Miller. Hello, David.
Hello. How are you? From
the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources. Did I get that right?
Correct. A little bit of history about Marcy Park. In 1843, James Marcy purchased some lots and subdivided them, and we have the opportunity to have a park as a result of his gracious gift to the county. The park contains several amenities: tennis courts, a lit basketball court, a gazebo, and quite a nice manicured lawn and picnic tables for a family picnic. We are surrounded on all sides by Potomac Overlook Park, and this is one of, as you said, 3 parks that we have in this area, and it supports some active recreation and picnicking for the family.
David, you mentioned Potomac Overlook, and we talked about it. It might be worth mentioning that Potomac Overlook was created from the Donaldson Farm, which gave Donaldson Run its name and our neighborhood its name, and that was done back in the early 1970s. And I should also add that one of the Walk Arlington tours, which is on the website, is a tour with County Board member Barbara Favola walking through Potomac Overlook. So those who are interested should check that out and then take the walk. It's a great place to go through the Potomac Overlook Regional Park. Thanks again.
Thank you, Larry.
And we'll be heading on now. One stop here, we're in Beachwood Circle, which is one of the stops marked on the map for the Donaldson Run Walkabout. As you can see, this is a street that has marvelous trees. Most of the homes here were built starting in the 1930s and the 1940s, so this is one of the oldest parts of our neighborhood. And the trees are equally old, and there are still some of the original beeches that gave Beachwood Circle its name. And I should mention as a tree advocate that if you come here in the summer, you can enjoy the shade, and that these trees cool the air, they filter the water, they clean the air, they do all these wonderful things for us, and we need more of them. We have a lot of trees in our neighborhood, but people are still planting more. And I should also mention that the circle that the street wraps around looks like a park, but it isn't. It's private property, and every effort is being made to preserve it so that it won't be developed. And let's go on now to Zachary Taylor Park. Well, here we are at Zachary Taylor Park. This is one of Arlington's most beautiful stream valley parks, 18 acres of woods and a recently restored stream. And we have a visitor a guest from the Department of Environmental Services, Eileen Winquist.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Hi, Eileen. And Eileen is one of the world's experts on this stream restoration project. And it's a natural stream restoration, and we hope you can explain what that means and tell us why it was necessary. So,
sure.
Shall we have a look?
Yep, let's go.
Well, Eileen, I think this is a good place to stop and ask you to tell us a little bit about the stream restoration.
Sure.
Why it was done, I suppose,
Sure.
as a starting point.
Sure, Larry. This project was actually the first comprehensive stream restoration project that we've done in Arlington County. And the reason why we selected this part of Donaldson Run to do the stream restoration was back in 2001 when we did a watershed management plan for the county. This area was noted to have some of the most severe erosion problems for all the streams throughout Arlington. And some of the things that have contributed to the erosion in this area were over the past 50 years, as the neighborhoods have developed around the stream and around the watershed, a lot more water has run off of the roads and homes and buildings into the stream. And over time, what happened in Donaldson Run was that the stream actually eroded down, and there was a sewer line, a sanitary sewer line that was buried under the stream, and over time that was exposed. Over 3 feet of erosion occurred to expose that sewer line, and it actually broke occasionally.
A couple of times.
Yeah, during severe storms. So once we noted that this area had such a major erosion problem, we decided that we wanted to use some stream restoration techniques, what's called natural stream channel design. And there are several components to that you can see here as you walk along Donaldson Run. One thing that we did was we actually raised the elevation of the stream bed back up to where it was sort of prior to a lot of the development in the area, and that helped to protect the sewer line that was buried under the stream. But that also helps to connect the stream to a floodplain area or a low area next to the stream, where during higher flow events the stream can spill out onto that area and helps the water slow down.
Shall we walk along a little farther and look at one of the stone structures?
Yep, that sounds great.
Good. Well, Eileen, we're here crossing at the crossing point, which replaced a bridge that we had originally planned in the neighborhood, until we realized that you don't need bridges with the restored stream. It's easier to cross on the rocks. And so we're downstream from a big rock structure and upstream from some smaller ones. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us something about the rock structures and what they do? Sure,
definitely. These step pool structures that you see along Donaldson Run help as the water flows down. The water can spill over the rock structure, and it will help to sort of slow down and use up some of that energy in the stream flow. And also the pools that develop below the rock structures are really important for the aquatic habitat of the stream, and kind of improve the habitat and make nice places for aquatic organisms in the stream to inhabit and to live.
The pools are very attractive for the big dogs, too, I've noticed, yes. and the children.
Yes.
So the rock structures were put in for erosion control, but they've actually proven to be a feature that attracts the park visitors as well.
Yeah, and you can also hear the lovely sound of the water kind of spilling over the step pools as you walk along.
Well, I think we've covered it.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Great, yeah, great to see you. Thanks
Bye
for
now.
coming out. See you.
I'd like to stop here for just a moment. This is one of 4 kiosks maintained by the Donaldson Run Civic Association, which is one of Arlington's very active civic associations. And we know that not everyone uses the internet, and so we've reverted to a low-tech method of letting people know what's happening in the neighborhood. In fact, going back to the time before there were newspapers, I suppose, and notices were posted like this. But park visitors actually do stop and take advantage of these kiosks. They read our newsletters and other notices. It's good to sit for a minute. You may have noticed back in Zachary Taylor Park we have some stone benches, and we invite people to take a break there as they're climbing that long hill. Now we're in Lee Heights Park, which is a smaller park farther upstream. The stream here was also restored, as Eileen Winquist was describing farther downstream. The stream is very accessible. This is a popular park for people who live nearby, walking their dogs, always on leashes, of course. And for those visiting Lee Heights Park, if you just cross Vacation Lane, which is the street behind us, and continue 1 block down Utah Street, you will come to the starting point for the mulch path that we were following back in Zachary Taylor Park. So the 2 parks are basically joined together. And I would mention that that same trail leads all the way to the Potomac River, so you can have a real adventure by starting in these parks and continuing along the stream all the way to the Potomac. It's a great walk. I recommend it. And now we're going back to our starting point at Taylor School. Well, we're back at Taylor School. We've finished our tour. We've showed you some of the highlights of the Donaldson Run neighborhood. We invite you to come and visit our wooded parks and streams and enjoy those with us. And we invite you also to visit the Walk Arlington website, www.walkarlington.com, and enjoy some of the other tours around Arlington as well. Thanks and goodbye.